You know, whenever I hear people say, I'm teaching sign language, I often ask this question: which sign language? Which sign language are you teaching, or which sign language do you recommend for a person to learn? Eventually, this question has often created some kind of confusion or misunderstanding amongst people, users of sign language in Africa. But it is so simple. Let's take, for instance, spoken language. I speak Igbo. I speak Igbo and English fluently. With a little bit of French. I understand a little bit of Yoruba. And these are all spoken languages. And when I want to teach, for instance, a foreigner my language, Igbo, I will say, I want to teach you Igbo. Or when I want to teach someone who doesn't speak English, I say, I want to teach you English. And that's how it is, or it is supposed to be, with sign language. But I don't understand, why is it that every time that we talk about sign language, people think about American Sign Language? You know, this is not funny though, but the issue here is, in addition to the online certificate course that is designed to train African Sign Language interpreters and linguistic scholars, we will be having discussions here on African sign languages. We are going to be talking about different sign languages in Africa, and we will be analyzing the words and expressions of different African sign languages. Now, we do not have data from many African sign languages, so we are going to be relying on you to send to us data, just words and expressions from any indigenous sign language of your community or your country, so long as it is not in English-based sign language or the so-called American Sign Language that is used in various African countries, as funny as it sounds. Anyway, so we are going to be focusing on different sign languaes that originated amongst deaf communities in different African countries. You are going to be so excited to know how beautiful those communication systems are. It is important to have this discussion, especially now that the United Nations UNESCO has declared the International Decade of Indigenous Languages, when indigenous people of different communities have been talking about their indigenous languages and how they are going to be developed. So it is disheartening that these talks are hardly going on amongst deaf communities, especially knowing that an average deaf child in Africa grew up with little or no language access, with little or no sign language access. This is not good for deaf children. Not at all. So, in the International Decade of Indigenous Languages, we will be having this discussion. So think about it. By this time, the next 10 years, we will be here talking about this. So it's going to be exciting. I bet you. I invite you to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Subscribe to us, like us on Instagram and on Twitter, on Facebook. Let's do this. In the next 10 years, we are in the International Decade of Indigenous Languages, and we will be talking about the Indigenous Hands, the Indigenous Voices. This is the platform for the Indigenous Hands, the Indigenous Voices of Africa. Thank you. Blessings.